Hey everyone, so this video is going to be a different kind of video, right? We're playing Binding of Isaac Rebirth, as you can see. This is my main file, right? I've completed a lot of stuff. On the Lost, I haven't done so much, but pretty much, is it every other character except the Lost and the Keeper, I've beaten everyone on hard, right? And Creed and all that stuff. Challenges. I haven't done all the challenges. I haven't done ultra hard. That's the only challenge I haven't done. There's a reason for that. Jesus. But today we're going to be playing on a new file as Isaac, because he's the only character we have unlocked. I will skip the opening thing. There is no opening cutscene. Cool. That's for people. If you want to see the opening cutscene, there's many places online where you can do that. So. Let's get it. I want to get into straight away what this video and maybe what this series as a whole is going to be. I was watching Northernlion play Luck Be a Landlord, okay, which, if you don't know, it's a slot machine deck building game. And then you're probably thinking, how does that work? How does a slot machine deck building work? You add, instead of adding cards to your deck, you're adding symbols that can come up on the wheels of the slot machine. And you have to earn enough money in a certain amount of time to keep playing, kind of thing. Anyway, and in this video that was taken from a live stream, he mentions that he's getting kind of burnt out on the Binding of Isaac, and long story short, he's going to be stopping it relatively soon, his series on it. And if you don't know who this guy is or why this is relevant, since the day when like the first Binding of Isaac came out, which is probably like 10 years ago, right? This man has averaged one video upload a day on the Binding of Isaac and its sequels and DLCs, which is pretty impressive. I think we can all agree. You might also think it's kind of crazy, or whatever. It doesn't matter. No matter how you look at it, it is impressive. That cannot be argued. Just to have that level of dedication. But what's really impressive to me is his ability to fill the dead air. Right? If you've ever watched one of his videos where it's like him on his own, I'm not counting like stuff that he plays with other people. The man has an incredible ability to just constantly talk and keep like the mental pipeline of words going, whilst also making it like be interesting and stuff, and you know, cracking the odd joke. He makes a lot of references that are very fun, even if you don't know what they're from. Just like, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but basically I've always been a big fan of his videos, even though I don't watch them all the time. In fact, I'm not even subscribed, but I do actively watch them when they get recommended to me. It's the reason I played Slay the Spire so much. It's the reason I now really want to play Luck Be a Landlord, and that game's super on my radar and stuff. Is it the reason I started playing Isaac? I honestly couldn't tell you, because it's so long ago that I can't even remember what introduced me to the game. Anyway, with him ending the series, I thought, like, well, I kind of want to try my hand at doing it, at doing an episode of the Binding of Isaac every day. And it's not to try and like, it's not because I'm like, oh, there's a space in the market now, I can get in there, right? Obviously not, because even if somehow everyone who watched his videos came across this video, they wouldn't all enjoy it, right? Because, you know, like 90% of what makes those videos enjoyable and what they are is his personality, which is obviously completely unique to him, and I couldn't replace that even if I wanted to. God damn, these are some great choices. I can't not take Tech X because it's like possibly one of the best items in the game. Luck down, that sucks. And range down, amazing stuff. So I wanted to do this kind of like a tribute. I don't know. It's because I heard that he was stopping that made me think, what if I did do it? you know, pay my respects to something that was like, you know, has been I think definitely a significant part of my formative years of my life. But it's more than that. It's also a way for me to practice at doing what he does, right? I want to be as good at just talking as that man is. And I figured surely the best way to do that is just to do it. Why don't I fight the boss right now? What am I doing? And this also links to another video I was watching the other day. I watched an interview with German 985, hosted by Tyler McVicker, formerly of Valve News Network, on YouTube. Damn, we're unlocking loads of stuff. I guess that's because of Anti-Birth and Rebirth Plus and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? Will we take a deal with the devil? Yes, we will, for Spirit of the Night. We have tons of health, and we only have to beat Mum, so it should be pretty easy, especially with this setup. I think we could beat her now, if we had to. Getting Magic Mushroom and Tech X is like an insane get. Does Track to Beam work with Tech X? Doesn't seem like it does. That's fine. So anyway, and in that interview, Germa's asked, like, how is he so good at doing what he does? And he says that when he was a kid, he was just constantly talking to himself and about like random stuff, and that's what he's doing now, except people are watching, right? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and let's see how good I can get, because right now I don't think my commentary is that good or that interesting. I think there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. So this is me trying to improve. And that's the reason it's on my second channel, at least it should be if I do what I'm currently planning on doing, instead of the main channel. It's because I don't expect these videos to be the same level of quality that I want things on the main channel to be. And also I don't want to be spamming that channel with daily uploads of anything, right? So I'm not going to do it. It's just going to be on this second little channel, and I expect it to get barely any views, and that's okay, because I mean, all the videos I make, I always say I make videos for myself, not for anyone else, but these ones in particular, they're here for my own development, they're for my practice. This is like when if you have any friends who are like creative people, they make stuff like music or anything like that, they always have YouTube channels and stuff where they have videos of them like practicing and things, you know, because it's like if you're doing something, this is kind of my philosophy, especially in contemporary times. If you're doing something a lot, you might as well like make it public for other people to see, because chances are other people are doing it a lot and they might be interested. And even if only one person is interested, hey, that's still one person, right? If you don't post it, no one's ever going to see it. And if you do post it, there's a chance someone will. And that's, you know, there's no downside, right? It's like when you're playing Do You Press the Button or whatever. So many of the buttons that people have come up with are just like this, just like, what's the downside here? Right, I saw one the other day when I was playing with some of my friends, and it was like, you create the best video game of all time, but it's only for the 2DS. And it's like, what's the downside, right? I personally, I was not going to create the best video game of all time. Oh shit, with the towel, we can't really play the blood bank much. I completely forgot about that. Most people probably wouldn't have even taken that item, but I like it. I think it's fun. Yeah, what's the downside? If I wasn't already planning on making the greatest video game of all time, this is just a freebie. The fact that it's stuck on the 2DS is better than it not existing. And that's a very weird metaphor, I guess, for these videos. I don't know. If I'm already going to be sitting here trying to talk to myself to get better at talking, I might as well in a pseudo way, talk to you and hopefully entertain you. Arguably, I should have tried to re-roll that item there, but hey ho. Que sera, sera. There you go, there's a bit of dead air there where I wasn't speaking. That's what we're trying to avoid. Although, I guess really, there does need to be breaks because my mouth gets dry. And that's why I have water here. That was such a weird, like, aggressive... And that's why I have water. It was a very... I was going to say rusty. Ooh. I kind of like that. I know that's not a way that you'd normally describe a voice, but rusty? It's kind of nice. I can... If you were like, oh yeah, if I was reading a book and it was like, oh, the man had a rusty voice. I know what they kind of mean. It's kind of like gravelly, I would imagine. A little gravelly. I would definitely associate it with like an American accent, a kind of Texan, cowboy-y kind of Clint Eastwood in like The Man with No Name. He has a rusty voice, I would say, but it's also kind of smooth. No, that's a bad example. He is not rusty because it's like that kind of, it's gravelly smooth. Yeah. Which I realise is a bit of a oxymoron. Is that an oxymoron? I think it is. It's been a long time since I've had to study English. So, okay. I did have something to say and I'd forgotten it, but then by explaining that I'd forgotten it, I have re-remembered it. Right, so I was saying these videos are going on the second channel because I don't expect them to be good enough to go on the main channel, right? And that actually links to something I was doing recently. Me and some of my friends did some videos playing a horror game that my original plan was this should be entertaining enough to go on the main channel, and it's like low effort enough for me to make, because there's no like fancy editing, that I should be able to get them out weekly. Because, wow, the shop sucks. There's not even a thing for me to donate. Because currently, in my real life, I'm at university, if you didn't know, and I'm working on my coursework. Because it's getting to that time of the year where it's all due and stuff. And so I was like, I can't really be sparing the time to make these elaborate videos every week. Up until now, this year has been great on my channel. We've had daily uploads, not daily, what am I talking about? We've had weekly uploads, and they've all been to a quality I'm proud of. Except maybe one or two, but we don't need to get into that. And I was like, it's okay, I can't make those videos anymore, but I can do this. I can just upload cut down segments of me and my friends playing through a horror game. But to be honest, after recording it, and this is no offense to them if they ever see this, I don't think the video, when I say not my friends, I don't think the videos are entertaining enough. I would not be satisfied with putting them on the main channel. And it basically comes down to, you know, my commentary just isn't up to snuff. Which is why we're doing this, right? So that someday, hopefully, I could make low effort videos. God, that sounds awful when I word it like that. That's not the plan, right? The plan is not, oh, get really good at just filling dead air with meaningless dribble and then just make dribble videos all day. That's not the end game here. But it would be nice to have in my back pocket, right? Now, D6, we actually have a really good run right now. But in the interest of fun, of course I'm going to do it. You can't not do it. We got Dry Baby, we got Technology, we got quite low damage, we got full health, PhD, the Mark, Vampire, Contract from Below. We've got some good stuff, but our damage output is piss poor now. Well, actually, maybe it's not that bad. We can kill the little guys, not that bad. It's actually Technology 2, isn't it? Well, I think we can still beat Mum, and that's the important thing. Because as this is a new save file, that's as far as we can get. Also, I should definitely look for secret rooms, because we've got hella bombs. So maybe someday, going back to... I transition between, like, game talk and then not game talk. and you're just going to have to live with that, or maybe I'm going to have to get better. That was awful damage, terrible damage, but at least it cleared out the room, question mark, shrug. Maybe someday these videos of us playing this horror game will get uploaded on the second channel. Who knows? Don't hold your breath. Maybe they can be like a lost episode of my YouTube career. Is he gonna? I don't want him to take my gold. That's an interesting thing, right? In games, currency has many different names, right? In Binding of Isaac, I guess you'd call it money or cents. I guess you would call it cents. But I'm a big advocate for calling all currency in games gold. It's gold. You know, I'm not going to call it some dumb thing that you've come up with for your game or some stupid name, you know. Ooh. I'm not going to call it dollars. Or maybe I'll call it money. Money's okay, but really just gold. All the time, just gold. It's just simpler. Everyone knows what you mean. I'm a big fan of... I think when you're talking to someone, it's more important to have them know what you mean than it is for you to say what something's actually called, if that makes sense. If we're like playing some kind of like game together, I know this is a terrible metaphor already because my brain can't work. Say we're playing like a co-op shooter and there's different types of enemies, and there's like some big tanky kind of enemy. Okay, yeah, say I'm playing Killing Floor 2 with you. You're my friend, hello. We're playing the game together, and I've played it a bunch, this much is true, and let's just pretend that you've never played it. Now, if we're fighting back to back, and then all of a sudden I scream into voice comms like, oh my god, there's a flesh pound coming, get ready. If you've never played the game before, that's meaningless to you. Except maybe, you know, you can read the intonation in my voice and see that I'm worried, but you don't know what a flesh pound is. But if I just shout like, you know, there's a big guy coming, there's a big dude coming, you know that a big dude is big, and that's bad news kind of thing, right? Or if I'm like, focus your fire on the big dude, rather than say, focus your fire on the scrake. You don't know what a scrake is. But a big dude, you know what that is. That's more important. It doesn't matter that, oh, technically he's called a scrake. You know, if I call him a chainsaw guy, because he has a chainsaw arm, if I'm like, focus all fire on the chainsaw guy, I don't care that I'm not using the correct terminology, right? The terminology exists for fluff reasons, for one, and, you know, maybe it exists to make the game simpler. Right, if none of the enemies had names, it would be a bit awkward for doing this exact thing. But I think if the official terminology is not helpful to you, then don't use it. Right, this is how language evolves, and that's kind of my philosophy. Bit of dead air there, as I focus on shooting these sprinty poops. So another thing I thought about when making these videos, because they are a sort of homage to Northernlion's series, which I'm talking about as if the series has ended, but as at time of recording he hasn't. The DLC isn't even out yet, right? As these are an homage, not to be confused with a fromage, I kind of want to keep the same episode naming scheme that he does, right? Yay, blue map's pretty damn good. I'm always happy to pick up blue map, unless I have no bombs. But even then, I probably still would. I want to have the same naming scheme, which, as far as I can glean from watching his videos, is just like random. Oh my god, we're unlocking so much. Random words, right? He just takes a word, that's the name of the video, and I'm sure it has some kind of relevance to him, right? I'm sure he probably watches the video until it gets to a point where he's like, oh, yes, I said this word, and that triggered me to think about something else. No thanks. And that's, you know, that's cool. I'm okay with that. And I kind of want to do the same thing. I already know what I want to call this video. Obviously, if you're seeing the video, you can already see what it's called. What better name, though, than than what I've gone with. And I'm not saying it here just in case I do change it. And then it would be kind of awkward. But this series isn't going to be a recreation in all aspects of how he does it, right? I'm not copying his formula. I mean, maybe I kind of am, but as I've said, his formula really is just him, right? It's his personality, and nobody could copy that. But so one of the things about him is he hates editing, right? Says it on his like NLSS wiki page. They make a point of how much he hates doing editing, and obviously I do not have such quandaries. And I'm not saying there's going to be fancy editing stuff, because there's not, right? There's not at all. Maybe I'd go so far as to describe what I would do if I could be bothered to edit on these videos. I'd be like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be funny if I put in a picture of Mr. Blobby here or something? You know, that's not going to happen. But I will cut stuff. Not like, don't get mad, right? Don't be like, what the hell? I wanted to watch a permanent stream of thought. I'm not going to be cutting that stuff. And I'm not going to be cutting like where I say racist things, because I don't say racist things, right? It's not that kind of thing. I mean, right now in my life, I am staying at home because I haven't gone back to my university residence yet because of various factors in the world right now. And if people come into my room where I'm recording, I'm going to cut that stuff out, right? It's kind of embarrassing, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's embarrassing for me and for them, kind of thing. So if it happens, I will like pause the game, like so. And then I'll just unpause, you know, and try and pick up exactly where I left off. And who knows how convincing or how well this will be. But this has already happened one time in this video. I know, in this very video, there's already been at least one cut. And you probably saw it, I would imagine, if you are indeed watching this, which is another thing I wanted to address. Northernlion's Binding of Isaac videos, I think it's, you know, not many people, like, properly watch them. And again, this isn't supposed to be a dig or an insult in any way, right? They're very relaxing videos, right? And you know, a lot of his viewers say they watch them or they listen to them when they're going to bed, kind of thing. And you know, I personally don't do that, but I do get it. I think there's, we gotta get potato peeler. We have so much excess health, man. Oops, that was a shit bomb. Maybe I shouldn't be doing the donation machine because we could get this money in other ways, but I can't be bothered. Oh, for God's sake, one off. And maybe this video will do a similar thing in your lives, right? I don't expect this to have your fullest attention right now. Yay, we got the Super Meat Boy achievement. Sick. We'll stop. No, we don't need IV bags, so we might as well keep going. Maybe these videos, as I was saying, maybe these videos will fulfill a similar role in your lives. And I don't care if they do or don't, right? But basically, I don't expect you to be properly watching these. If you just have this on as like a pseudo podcast, I think that's a great idea. Myself, when a lot of Northernlion's videos that I watch, including his Binding of Isaac videos, they're the kind of thing I watch when the video game I'm playing in windowed mode. I guess if you have two monitors, which I know, how embarrassing that I don't. If you have two monitors, I guess you just put it up on the second monitor, right? But a lot of games I play with a video on at the same time, because, I don't know, maybe I just have really low attention span. Maybe modern life is ruining us all. But let's not get into that. And Binding of Isaac is one of the games that I normally play in windowed mode whilst watching a video. Or sometimes whilst in a lecture or doing revision for my GCSEs. You know, it just depends on the situation. And It's actually interesting. Something that you might not know about the game is if you put it in windowed mode, it like, because of the way aspect ratio works and stuff, I guess, like big rooms, like the the quad size room, it's not Butterbean. We haven't even got Butterbean ever on this profile, so that's funny that we got not Butterbean. Now, no, we'll get into that in a minute. Something new to talk about. If you the quad-sized rooms, you can actually see more of them when you're in windowed mode, which is really interesting, and it makes like the Delirium boss fights so much easier. And I guess like the Hush and any boss fight that happens in a big room is easier because you can see more of the screen at once than if you're not in windowed mode. I know this because one time I was like on half health or something. Not half health, like half a heart, or maybe I was playing as the Lost or something, and I'm fighting Delirium, and I'm like, Jesus, one more hit and I'm dead, and I'm like, right, it's time to fully focus, pause the video I'm watching, let's go full screen and do this. And instead it actually made it more difficult because now I couldn't see more of the screen, so I was like, okay, actually put it in windowed mode again because I can see the whole room at once. So there you go, there's a little tip for you if you're playing Binding of Isaac on PC, consider windowed mode. The other thing that I said when I said just now that I found something new to talk about, what that was something that I've now forgotten, but I'm desperately trying to filibuster till I can figure out what it is, whilst we just laser this eyeball, give Mum some laser eye surgery. We did take some dumb damage on this fight that I would have rather have not have taken, because, I've played a lot of Binding of Isaac, right? I'll find out the playtime right now, in fact. Let's have a look. Well, after we've unlocked like 1 billion challenges. Oh, that's like, speed was a fun one. Have a Heart, I don't even remember that one. Pride Day, I can imagine what it is. You probably get like Rainbow Baby and Fruitcake and like the other thing that's like the same as Fruitcake but not. Let's see, how many hours do I have in Binding of Isaac? 705 hours. I've played it a lot. I've beaten Mum many times without taking damage, right? So it's a bit sad to take damage there. And it also appears that I have completely forgotten what I was going to say. But that's okay, maybe it will come up in a future video, who knows. But for now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope that there is going to be more of this along the way. We'll see. I'm historically very bad at keeping up series, but maybe this will be the exception. I just got to do it for Northernlion. Do it for the egg. Alright, see ya. Take care now. Take care now. I don't know how to sign off, which is clearly evident. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. See ya.